Today I'm also going to share a few of my experiences and how I feel about Meher Baba and my relation with him. So, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, since I was a kid, since I was small, and since my mom, dad, and my grandparents are Baba lovers, so I'm from a Baba family. So, we were always told by my mom, dad, that take Baba as your friend and talk to him, and he's your best friend. You tell him everything. So I always grew up taking Baba as a friend of mine and talking to him the way I would talk to a friend. Like if I'm upset about something or I'm happy about something, the first person I tell will be Baba and then anyone else. So I went for this exam in school, and usually we take help from our friends. So I told Baba that now I'm going for this exam and it's important for me, and I haven't studied well. I know I've not studied, but you come with me, because we were always told to take him wherever we go and make him our constant companion. So I told him, you come with me and you help me in the exam. So I was very happy that now Baba is going to come with me and I'm going to do really well. And then I gave the exam, my results came out and they were not as good as expected. So I was slightly upset. And I told Baba, I said that you were supposed to come with me. Where were you? Why didn't you come? So sometimes when like we are having a conversation, like if I'm having a conversation with God or with Baba, then I maybe try and visualize what he might have said to me if he was there in the physical form. So this is what I told him, that you didn't come with me, why didn't you come? So he said that I said that I will come with you, I didn't say that I'll study for you and write your exam paper for you. So um, that was one of the thing in which Baba also says that he says that don't worry about the results in his messages. He says like leave the results onto me. But the first line is very important, which most of us, especially me, we skip the first line, which says that first you give your best in everything and then you don't worry about the results. So that was one of my school experiences. And another story was that since I was growing up in school as a Baba lover and I was the only Baba lover in my school, so I thought that if I tell people about him, then everyone is going to make fun of me. So I never told anyone about Meher Baba or like anything about him. I didn't let them know that I'm a Baba lover when I was in school. But then as I started growing older, I finished my school, and I reached college. So that time we have these book reading sessions in Bombay. So we read a Meher Baba book, and then there is someone who will explain us the meaning according to his knowledge of understanding. So, in those book reading sessions, I came across this quote saying that make people hear my name, like as in make people hear Baba's name, and then the name from the heart to the ear is Baba's job. Like I just have to get it to the ear, and then he will take it from the ear to the heart. So because of that, I started wearing Baba t-shirts and Baba lockets and going to college, so that people see that and then they ask me about Baba and then I can tell them also. So a lot of that started happening, and a lot of people also got interested in knowing about Baba. And we have that WhatsApp status option where you can like put a quote as your information on the WhatsApp profile. So there I started putting a lot of Baba quotes as well, and then people saw those and they were like happy with the quotes, and then they would ask me, who is this person, even we want to know about them. And that's how a few people got to know about Baba, or at least they got curious about him and started checking on Google and then coming back with questions to me. So that is how my transformation happened, from hiding myself as a Baba lover to actually going and telling people about Baba. So I'll sing a song before I go to the next story. As I was telling you about Baba as my friend, so the song is related to that. Just 1 second. I'll turn on original sound. Okay. Is this audible? Okay. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Oh, Meher Baba, my only Baba. Show me how to receive your grace. Tell me how, oh, how can I please you? Just to see a smile upon your face. Ba 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 ba. Oh, Meher Baba, you are the sun. Ba 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 ba. Oh, Meher Baba, you're the only one. Oh, Meher Baba, my only Baba. For me, your name is the word of words. It's in the song of so many lovers, and it is in the song of the birds. Ba 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 ba. Oh, Meher Baba, you are the sun. Ba 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 ba. Oh, Meher Baba, you're the only one. Oh, Meher Baba, my only Baba. You are my Lord and you are my friend. There never was or would be another. I am yours truly till the end. Ba 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 ba. Oh, Meher Baba, you are the sun. Ba 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 ba. Oh, Meher Baba, you're the only one. So, this is one of my favorite songs because I can relate to Baba as my friend in this song. So I really like this song, and also I might have played this before, but I'm playing the ukulele after like almost 6 months because I was in the mountains for around 2 months, and I just came back from there and I left the ukulele in Bombay. So I'm picking it up after all these months, and I even kind of forgot the chords, but I was hoping, and I told Baba that help me remember the chords for this song. So I didn't forget the chords right now. So I'll tell you all one more story of mine. We had this editing app when, like, it's still there, but it became a trend when I was a few years younger and I was in school. So there's this app called Yazzie, and on that you can edit and Photoshop and create like a picture of a fake WhatsApp chat or an Instagram or Facebook post or a fake Google search picture. That's what happens on that app. So a friend of mine came across that app and she made a fake Google search post of me and my brother. So in that, like when you search something on Google, all those search options come. So with this app, you can also make fake search options. So that's what she did, and she made fake search options. So I told her that you go on Google, and if you actually search Nikki and Aloba on Google, you might find something real instead of the fake one. So she went there and she found videos and pictures of me and Aloba when we were small singing Mer Baba songs for Amar Tithi or in a Baba gathering. She found those videos, and then she got at that time we were like around 12 13 years. So for someone coming up on Google or YouTube was a very big thing at that time. So at that time she got excited that me and my brother are on the internet. And also there were Mer Baba songs all over, like with Aloba and my name. So she saw those and she got excited, and then she showed those videos to all the other friends around, and then they all were curious, like who is this Mer Baba? And then they also went and Google searched and tried to figure out about Mer Baba. So that was one of the incident. And another one was that this was on Valentine's Day in 2014. And my dad and me, my mom and brother were in Mehrabad. And I wanted to go out to play basketball with my friends. But my dad took me to the Merbaba Bombay Center. And I was really disappointed because I didn't want to spend my Valentine's Day going to the Bombay Center. So he took me. He's like, nothing doing. You're coming with me. Whatever day it is, you have to come. And he took me there. And we were doing the Baba prayers. And then after that, there were these two ladies who were singing songs, which doesn't usually happen every day. But that day they were singing songs, and they called me also. And they were like, why don't you also sing a song for Baba? So I sang a song for him. And then the song, at the end of the song, there's this one line which is about love. And the moment I said love, the a rose fell from the prasad, as in from a garland was hung on Baba picture. So a rose came out from there and it fell in the prasad box just at that time, which I didn't notice, but that lady came and gave that to me, and I still have it in my cupboard, the rose. I've preserved it in a nice plastic, and she said that this is Baba's gift to you. So that was my only Valentine's Day gift till now, and also the best one and best experience. So I'm going to sing that song which I sang that day. And this was one of the first songs that me and Aloba learned. Aloba is my brother. So this was the first song that we learned when we were small. We were around 9 years at that time. So the song was something like this. Love grows like a rose in the garden. Water it and tend to it every day. Our hearts are like buds on the same stem, growing together and learning the way. Jewels of the mind, treasures of the hearts, lifetimes of learning held in lovely forms. Thoughts, words, and deeds, colors now refined, gems of the heart, jewels of the mind. Love grows like a rose in the garden. Water it and tend to it every day. Our hearts are like buds on the same stem, growing together and learning the way to love. Like the song ends with love, and that's exactly when the rose fell at that time. Another thing that keeps happening to me is that so I go to the mountains a lot, to Manali and Uttarakhand, like for 2 months every year. I'm into trekking, so I go there every year. I go there for 2 months, and every time I go there, there's always something that keeps reminding me about Meher Baba. Like no one over there even knows about him, but either I see a Meher Baba a poster with the name Meher Baba on it, or some building or some car that has Meher Baba written on it. And when I ask the people, they have no idea what Meher Baba is. They've just chosen a name and they've just written it on their car. And so there's always something that keeps reminding me of Meher Baba. And he says that make me a constant companion. So I actually feel that he is coming with me as a constant companion, because he keeps reminding me that I'm there for you, I'm there for you. And also, there's this place in Nepensi Road. There's a building, and that building is also called Mehrabad. So every time I pass by, I remember Mehrabad. It's like half an hour from my house, the place, and the building is there. And whenever I'm feeling lonely or sad, I just remember Mer Baba, and I feel like he's there with me, and then I don't feel lonely. One thing I really like about him is that he's always said that I will like love all my lovers unconditionally, no matter how they are. I will always love them. So I also have a song related to this, which I'm going to sing right now. I'll just play the music. So this song is basically about something that Mer Baba would tell his lovers in this song. I'm just playing the music. Whether or not you'd like me, whether or not you'd like me to, whether or not you'd strike me down if I said it, it's true, I really do. Whether or not you'd ever feel like holding hands, whether or not you ever understand, it's immaterial. Whether or not you believe or doubt me, I believe in you. Whether or not you care about me, I care about you, I really do. Whether or not it's advantageous, liking you is contagious. Whether or not you know it, whether or not I show it, I really do like you. Whether or not you have 3 elbows and your head shaped like the letter A, whether or not your feet have 12 toes each, I like you anyway, I really do. Whether or not your hair is purple, green or blue, what I like is what's inside of you. It's immaterial. Whether or not it's irrational doesn't matter to me. I like you in or out of fashion. They'll say you'd laterally. Whether or not it's advantageous, liking you is contagious. Whether or not you know it, whether or not I show it, I really do like you. I really do like you. I really do. This song always reminds me so much of Meher Baba, because he always loves everyone unconditionally, no matter how stupid they are or whatever they do. Even if they don't like him and even if they don't know him, he still loves them. So this song reminds me of him. And there's a message on the group from Habobi Auntie. Do you remember the rose story? So the Valentine's Day story that I told everyone about, which was that song "Love Grows Like a Rose," which I just sang. So that was the same story as the rose story, which Havobi auntie is written on the chat. And that lady who came and gave me the rose from the prasad box and asked me to sing that day was also Havobi auntie. So she was the one. So I got the rose because she asked me to sing. So yeah. And another thing that happens to me whenever I'm doing a concert, like if we have a best friend, the best friend is always playing pranks on us, whether it's a college presentation or it's an exam. The first person who will play pranks on you is always the best friend. Like they'll make sure that he always does something to trouble you or like whatever. Like we understand, we've all had best friends as kids. So Mer Baba, now since I have taken him as my best friend, so he kind of does the same thing, but he does it on a much larger scale with me, and sometimes it also gets embarrassing. So whenever there's a concert, whenever I'm singing somewhere or I have a concert, what happens is that I practice for my concerts. Like I practice all the songs and make sure that everything is proper. I'm not missing out on any note. But somehow, whenever the main performance comes, there's always something that goes haywire. There was this one concert we did in MPC, and I practiced one song because one song was difficult. I had sang Frozen by Madonna that day, so that was the song I practiced 20 times, and the other songs just around 3 4 times I practiced. And then me and my brother, we went to sing. And on the main concert, all the other songs went really well. The music went really well. But when I was singing that one song, which I practiced 20 times, I remembered only the first paragraph and I forgot everything else. And the music was playing, and I just went suddenly silent because I could not remember any words. And all I could do was do la 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 on stage and then come back. But that's not the only time. It's happened many more times when I'm singing online. Then last time we had done a sound check. We did a sound check for almost 1.5 hours. This was last year in August when I had done a concert in the same group. So we did a sound check and the music, everything was perfect. But when the main performance came, and then it sounded same, it sounded like really good even on the main performance. But later on, when I heard the recording, everything was out of sync. Like the music started 5 seconds before, my voice was coming 5 seconds afterwards. Like all the songs, it was not one or two songs, it was all the songs. So earlier I used to get disappointed that maybe I need to practice more. But then later on, I just realized that now, since I have taken him as my best friend, he is going to do best friend pranks on me. So I just have to get used to it. And another time was during Amartati when we were singing a song with the background. There was a background video for the song. So we practiced it a day before and we made sure that the sound and everything is proper. But on the main day when we had to sing, and this was on 30th night, the time when people get less time to perform because that's the most crowded time at Mehrabad, and everyone wants to just hurry up and save time and not waste time. And then I went up to sing, and the music just didn't start. And I was looking at my dad and I'm like, do something. And he's looking at me, he's saying, I'm trying, I don't know why has it stopped. And the host, it was almost 2 minutes trying to get the music to get started. 2 minutes were over, people were getting restless, and the host was saying, what are you doing? Do fast. The music was just not starting. So I gave up and I said, okay, fine. You want to play this prank on me? I will still sing. I will sing without the music. You stop my music, I'm going to sing. So I started singing uh, without the music. And then, as soon as I started singing, the music also started at the exact same time with the perfect sound and the perfect volume. So that made me make sure that okay, this was a prank from him on me. And there are many such incidents, but I'll just mention one, two last incidents which happened. So we were doing a play in Mehrabad in the Hostelé theater, and we practiced a lot for it. But on the main day, the lights suddenly just went off, and there was no power cut. Everything was working, only the stage lights went off. And that was one of the scenes. I think I had just finished my scene, or I had to enter, and all the lights went off, and then we had to take a 10 minutes break to restart it. So sometimes the mic goes off, sometimes I get a shock, sometimes the music won't work. And I used to get embarrassed by that, but now I don't, because I'm just used to it now. So that's one thing we get for taking Meher Baba as our best friend. Even though there are many advantages, but that's also one thing that happens. I was just hoping, and I was telling him today that please don't do anything today at least. And let's see, till now it's going good. So um, I'll sing one more song, which is about being happy all the time. And one thing that Meher Baba has always said, that when someone smells garlic or someone eats garlic, then the smell of that garlic will spread all around the room, and everyone will get bothered by it, and everyone's mood will get spoiled. So when you sit with a garlic face, then everyone in the room is going to get affected by it. So garlic face is some sad or angry face like this, which usually we make. So what he said is that keep smiling all the time. Even if you have gas in your stomach, even if you have been thrown out from your house, or a car just comes and hits you for no reason, keep smiling. Which is a bit unrealistic, but that's what he said. So the song is about that. I'll just play the music. And the song is by Misha Uncle. Come and put your happy on, even if it feels too tight, doesn't feel natural. Don't worry, it will be alright. You say it's been a long time since you wore it anywhere. You don't know where you saw it last, it is lost in the past. Well then let's share. Come and put my happy on. You know it fits you like a glove. If you wear it long enough, your happy turns into love. You can wear it anywhere, you can wear it anytime. When you put your happy on, you will get along, no matter rain or shine. And the beauty you see is that one size fits all I just mentioned that Baba didn't play any prank on me this time. And this song I practiced 6 times today, and I'm singing it since the past 4 years, and still I forgot the lyrics. So here is the prank, and there's a message on the group from Betty saying that the background photo disappeared. And yes, I didn't change the virtual background, it just happened on its own. I didn't change it. Maybe. One thing that happens is whenever something like this happens in any time I'm performing, then always I look around and I see a Baba picture, and for some reason that picture is always a smiling picture, and it just feels like he's laughing at me. The picture just it feels like he's laughing at me, and he's like, I caught you again. And there's one right here which also feels like he's laughing at me, but the other days it seems like a serious face. Today it just feels like he's laughing. So I'll play the next song. 1 second. So this song is about I think everyone must have heard it, and it's also one of my favorite songs. So it's about doing our best in everything that we do, and then being happy and leaving the results to Baba, not bothering about the results. So this song's about that. Don't worry, be happy, it's so easy to say. There's more to that good if you live it his way. You offer everything you can in every way you know, using all the skills you have, and then you let it go.
No matter how it goes,
Do your best, don't worry, and be happy in my love. Don't worry, be happy in my love. Do your best, don't worry, and be happy in my love. It takes a lot of practice, this act of letting go. Remember, you're a player and you don't control the show.
first you do your best and then you leave it in his hands.
And when you try to live like this, you just might understand.
It's all in Baba's hands.
The beauty and the freedom and the meaning of don't worry, be happy in my love. Do your best, don't worry, and be happy in my love. This doesn't mean don't pay your bills, ignore your family, or let your crazy all hang out on everyone you see. You still must face the things you must and do the best you can. And after you have tried your best, then leave it in his hands. You might not get just what you want, but you'll get what you need. First you do the best you can, and then you don't worry.
If you do or don't succeed,
Don't worry, be happy in my love. Do your best, don't worry, and be happy in my love. I wish that I could do this, I've been for it for so long. It's time to walk the walk and not to sing the song. He asked us all to do our best and then to let go of our worry and be happy in his love.
happy in his love.
So I will put my trust in him and try to practice of. Don't worry, be happy in his love. Do your best, don't worry, and be happy in my love. What comes first is do your best, and that is not enough. Then let it go and don't worry, be happy in my love. This song always makes me happy and always makes me smile. Also, I wanted to say one thing, just in case when I'm singing, my voice stops or the laptop turns off, even though the battery is full, or the mic doesn't work, or the music can't be heard, then just realize that that's not me doing any of this.
No, you're doing wonderful, Nikki. I mean, you're
Thank
shining
you.
all the way through. So beautiful. Thank you. Please continue.
Thank you. So today also I have one more person with me who I would like to call in, and she is the one who taught me singing, and also she will be sharing maybe one of her Baba experience. So she'll also come and sing for a while. I'll just call her. And this is my mom.
Hey, Baba.
Hello, Jai Baba, everybody. So, what should I do? I'm just thinking because she wrote me in last minute. Um, I'll just. I was also born in a Baba family like my daughter, and my father met Baba in 1962 for the very first time in the EastWest gathering. He heard about him in 1960s when he was a student, and he met Baba in 1962 for the very first time. When he, well, I won't get into the details of the story, but when he went to meet him, he told in his own heart to Baba, he said that, why didn't you take me in the last 7 incarnations? You didn't call me, I didn't meet you. So now you have to pay for it. And so, and East West Gathering was a time when there were so many people for the darshan, and every now and then the Mandli was making an announcement that nobody should come for Baba's darshan again second time. You should just do it once, and that's about it, so that everybody gets a chance. So he's telling Baba that, you will have to give me darshan 7 times because you didn't call me before. So now you must pay for it. So, and then he was trying to figure out how, and there were some people who would go back again second time or whatever. When they went again, they were pulled out by the Manli from the queue. So he wondered that how did they come to know, because their whole attention was at all times on Baba, and how were they able to figure out that this person has come again. So he kept observing what was happening on the stage where Baba was sitting, and he realized that every time there was somebody who came back, second time or something, Baba had a twinkle in his eye. And that's how the Mandli who was assisting him would figure out that there is somebody who has to be taken out of the queue. And that's how they were doing it. So he started telling Baba, I'm going to do it, but you please don't do anything. And how he managed to do it every time was, he would go for his darshan, come out, and then join the queue again, requesting people. Somewhere in the middle he will go, he will not join in from the beginning, and he will tell them that, I have to catch a train and I'm running out of time, will you please let me go in? And people would of course let him go in. And every time, after of course the first time when he went close to Baba, Baba would turn his face on the other side. He would not look at him, and that's how he got saved from the Mandli, and they didn't catch him and they didn't take him out of the queue, and he managed to get his 7 darshans on the very first occasion itself. So this was one of the stories, and after 3 or 4 years later, when he got married, my mother was already following a spiritual master. Her family's from her family's side, and so before introducing to her about Baba, my father wrote her a letter saying that. My mother, in fact, wrote a letter. They were in different cities. They were teaching in college, and they were both working in different cities. So my mother, I mean, they were in touch with letters in those days. So she wrote in one of her letters that I can give you as much love as you want, but in return, you give me God. And this was the opportunity which my father took, and he sent a little booklet called Highest of the High, and he sent it to her along with the letter. And he said, I am actually in a position to give you God. And he sent her this book called Highest of the High. So she that was the only book for years. That was the only book which she had read. She had no questions, and that was it for her. And in 1965, when Baba was giving darshan in Guru Prasad, then she also had the opportunity to go and have Baba's darshan. So that's how both of them had Baba's darshan a few times, and then later on I was born. So I have no story. When I would go, I spent as a child my holidays at Merazad and Merabad. In the holidays, we would go there and stay for a few weeks. And those days, you could go and visit Merazad for 3 to 4 times a week. And we could spend the whole day from morning till evening. Mandli was still young. They were in their 50s or early 60s, so they still had a lot of energy. This is in 70s, I'm talking about mid 70s, so when I was around 9 or 10 years old. And so they had stories to tell, and it was very confusing where to go, because in the Mandli hall, Erich would be telling stories. In the backyard, in the porch, the women would be sharing story, Mera would be sharing story, or Mani would be sharing. Then sometimes Mani would come in the Mandli hall and share the stories. So for me as a child, it was very confusing where to go. Okay, sometimes when Mera would come little later, then people would get up and go there, and they would also say anybody who wants to go meet Mera can go. But I would already be engrossed in a story here, so I didn't want to leave the story and go there. Or if I was there, then I didn't want to leave that and come here. So it was very confusing for me where to go. For me, it was a extended family. I call them uncle and aunt. And in India, somebody who's your father's brother, you call them chacha. If it's your father's sister, you call them bua. So for us, we have a different name for each paternal and maternal aunt and uncle. We have different designation. I don't know what to say. Some different word for each one. So we are very clear um, who's who. When we are calling somebody, while in English everybody is in an uncle and aunt, so it is little confusing. So we had names like that. Me and my sister, of course, we had names like that for the Mandli member. Mani, we used to call her Mani Bua, means father's sister. And Bhauji, we would call him Bhau Chacha. Till the end, we called him Bhau Chacha, which means father's brother. So like that, we used to call them or address them. So every summer holiday, as other kids would look forward to going and meeting their paternal or maternal family, grandparents, we would look forward to going to meet them, and just play and play and play. Half the time we didn't understand what was going on. Our whole interest was in playing in the garden and plucking some tamarind from the tree and eating that, or eating food. But now the food was very limited. In those days, you had a packed lunch. There was no place in Merabad like today, Pilgrim Center or nothing. There was no place you could stay. So everybody stayed in town, and a bus would pick up people on those certain days at around 9:30, 10 o'clock and take them. Then we would go to another place and pick up remaining people, then to the third place, and then eventually bus would reach Merazad. And then you spend the whole day and you carried your packed lunch. So we were hungry all the time as kids, and the food of course was served at a lunchtime when everybody would come out in the veranda in Merazad outside Mandli Hall, and you sat there and you ate. And as kids we were so hungry before the lunch, and of course after the lunch, and then what to do. So once Bhauji mentioned that the Mandli used to have their breakfast as the leftover roasted chapatis. Probably they were leftover from the previous day, or they were made in the morning, I don't know, but they were roasted and kept. And he had a brass box like this, a round brass box in his room. And his room was right behind the blue bus. In those days, he used to stay in Merazad. So once or twice he told us that we could go. He gave it to us, offered it to us, and gave it to us with his own hands. And he said, anytime you want, you can come and eat. So that was one relief, because we just would sneak into his room, open the box, remove some roasted chapati, eat it. It was so delicious. Till today, I can feel the taste of it and eat it. So that's how we would survive those long days in Marazad, with all these kind of tidbits to eat. And so this was my childhood. And as I was growing up, I would hear stories of people, such amazing stories. Somebody's gone to a bookstore and a book fell on his head, and that was God Speaks or Discourses, or something else happened, or something. So there were all these wonderful stories, and I used to wonder why I don't have a story. And for years, I was struggling with this, that why I don't have a story. There is no story. So I had nothing to share. So I'm sharing my parents' story. Nikki shared her story, but I have no story to tell. But yeah, there are some childhood memories maybe which I could share. And so I remember we had Baba's this black and white picture kept on a little stool in our house in one of our bedrooms. And this was the picture on which Baba, no, this picture was a colored picture, I remember. It was a black color glass little table, and on that was kept a frame in which the picture was there, which was colored picture, but it had no glass on top of it. And the picture is the one in which Baba is sitting with his hand like this, and he's sitting on a tiger skin. So I'm sure you all must have seen it at some point. So he's sitting on that. And and my grandmother would visit us sometimes, and in India, the older generation, my grandmother's generation, and even many people even today, they worship every single day, and they have the statues of all different kinds of gods and goddesses made up of brass. And they have a little temple, or they have a little altar where they keep this. And every day what they do is they give a bath to these little statues of gods and goddesses and change their clothes. They even make these lovely colorful bright clothes, and they make them wear. So all the gods and goddesses are wearing this red and orange and green and shiny golden color clothes. And she would so they would keep their pair of clothes in little boxes, and they will give a bath, and then they will offer food before they had their own food. And I would wonder, I knew that Baba was God, okay, but I would wonder that, see, Dadi means my grandmother, my father's mother. Dadi's gods are getting food every day, and no one's giving food to our God. He's just sitting over there on this tiger skin doing like this, and no food is being given to him. So that's not fair. And I must have been probably 4 or 5 years old at that time, can't remember. So we used to have a cook who would come to our house, and as you know, in Indian houses, our meals are usually chapatis and dal and rice and vegetables. This is a standard staple diet. So for making the chapatis, you make the dough. And so the dough is kept, which is nice and soft and something nice to play with, which I would go to the kitchen sometimes, take a little, make a ball, play, try to make a chapati with my hand as a kid, try to imitate what she was doing, make my little chapati, give it to her to put it on the pan and say, okay, my chapati is ready. So I just got an idea, why not I feed my God too? My grandmother's God is getting food and he's getting bath, and we are doing nothing to our God. So I would take a little ball of, very tiny little ball of this dough, and take it and put it on his lips on the picture. And I started doing it almost, I think, every day or whenever I would remember. I don't have that memory. I would go and take it from the kitchen and go and put it on his lips. And I was sure he would eat it up. Little did I realize that I was actually spoiling the picture, because there was no glass on it. It was just the photograph within the wooden frame. And so when my father realized that this picture is going to get spoiled, he actually then got it framed, and he put a glass in that, and we still have that picture, and we still have that little table. And they live in Mehrabad now, so if any one of you go there, you would be able to see that table on which that Baba's picture was kept for all those years when I was a little kid. So these are a few stories of mine when I was a kid. And And there was an interesting part to it also. Now Nikki said my mother taught me music. I didn't really teach. I must be singing like that, and she must have just picked up. She never had any training, professional training or anything. She just picked up and she started singing on her own. So um, I had a friend, my father's friend, whose name was Professor Amir Kumar Hajra. He was one of the English professors in the same college where my father was a student, and this was in the city of Jabalpur. And through one of his other professors, my father came to know about Baba, and that professor came to know about Baba through this professor. Okay, so this is how the whole connection was. And this Amir Kumar Hajra wrote a very interesting book which is called Zetetic, Memoirs of a Zetetic. So if you all have read that, then you would know who I am talking about, and he has very interesting stories in that. So I will tell you why I'm sharing about him. So we had a very close connection with him, and we used to call him, his name was Amir Kumar Hajra. Hi Angela. And we used to call him Hajra Dada. And he was such a talented person. He was a professor of English. He got a lot of time to spend with Baba. He actually went and stayed with him for many weeks and probably months. And he wrote many letters to Baba, and there were letters which my father used to write to Baba, and the reply of those letters would also come at Hajra's residence for my father, so that was the connection. And every now and then he would come and visit us. We lived in a different city and he was in a different city. So he would come and visit us, especially during summer holidays. And in those days, our houses had a lovely backyard. Backyard is called Angan, which is a open space in a bungalow with these big walls around it. So in the summer, it's so hot. And when I was a kid, there were no coolers, there were no ACs, we only had a ceiling fan. And the heat used to be so much, it was really killing. So the only way to feel cool during the summer was, what I did was throw a lot of water on my mattress and my bed sheet and make it wet and sprinkle all the water on myself, wet the curtains in the window, and then sleep. And whenever I wake up in the night with the heat, again do the same thing, sprinkle water all over and then sleep. And in the summer we would take out mattresses and go into the backyard and put it on the floor, which is a nice cemented floor, of course, and it is safe to sleep. And you put mattresses there. Everybody used to sleep there, and those who have terraces in the house, they would sleep on the terraces. So this was the custom in India, and I think it is still in north of India, where still the summer is very hot. So we would sleep there, and then you sleep under the stars and the moon, and that was the way we would spend our summers. And most of the time, Professor Hajra, he would come to our house and spend a few days. And he was a singer, and a singer like unbelievable. What a singer he was. I still have his voice in my memory there. And he could sing in various voices, and there are these famous singers of that time. He could sing in the voices of anyone you could imagine, and that's what my exposure to music was as a child. I don't think before that, I was probably 5 or 6 years old or 7, I don't remember, but that's my memory of the music. And so these are few singers, and why I want to mention their names, I would tell you later. One of them was Pankaj Malik, one of them was Hemant Kumar, one of them was Kishore Kumar. These were various singers, and Hajra Dada could sing in anyone's voice. They're not very different, the voices are, but he could just sing, and his own voice. Now, why this singing was so important? Because he also stayed with Baba, he sang for Baba. So maybe one of the songs I would sing to you, which he sang for Baba in front of Baba, which I definitely know that he sang, and many a times I have sung it at the Samadhi. And there were few other songs which I learned from my memory. I still remember them. So I just have to remember one line, and I remember the tune and the song which I learned while I would be sleeping. He would be playing the harmonium and singing, and he would tell my mother, come on, join me, or my father, come on, join. And they all used to, whole night, till whenever they must have slept, I would sleep as a kid, they would sing these songs. And so when I hear those songs now after growing up, I realized they were such beautiful songs with a lovely, beautiful spiritual meaning and such a connect you can feel with these songs as if you're talking to your beloved in various ways. In some of them, you're taunting him, some of them, you're uh, cribbing and telling him, why are you doing like that? In some of them, you're praising him. So these are few songs, and they're of course in Hindi, but I will sing just a few lines of each, three, four of them, and I will translate them in English so you all can get the gist of it and enjoy them at the same time. Okay, so how much time do we have, Angela? Okay,
We have
So-
20 minutes.
okay, that's more than enough, I think. Before that, only it'll get over. So one of the songs which he used to sing was called "Peele Peele Meher Naam Ka Pyala," and actually this song was also a bhajan or a devotional song which was sung by other singers in India, in which they used the name Peele Peele Hari Naam Ka Pyala. Hari is the other name for Krishna. So when I was a kid and I would hear him sing this song, Pile also means yellow. So I used to wonder, why is he saying yellow, yellow? So Pile Pile Meher Naam Ka Pyala means, Pile means drink. Keep drinking the wine of Meher's name. Okay, that's the meaning of the song. And I'm wondering, why is he saying yellow, yellow, Meher name? What is this yellow, yellow? Little did I know that each word has two meanings and three meanings, and I had no idea about synonyms in those days. But the song and the memory and the tune, everything is from that time. I never learned these songs later. All these songs, the words, the lyrics, the tune, everything is from those days in the summer when I would be sleeping under the stars and hearing these songs. Okay, so I'll sing this song. It's called Pile Pile Meher Naam Ka Pyala. So it goes like that you drink, get intoxicated after drinking the glass of Meher's wine, and just keep remembering his name. Some people drink it, some people don't. Those who drink, they get the bliss. Those who don't, they are sending the bliss away from themselves, and then they get into trouble. But his name has a magic, it's unique, and when you drink, then only you will know. Otherwise, there is no other way to experience the magic of his name. हरे पीले 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 मेहर नाम का प्याला तू पीले 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 मेहर नाम का प्याला इसको पी कर और पिला कर इसको पी कर और पिला कर बन जा तू मतवाला 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 मेहर नाम का प्याला कोई इसको सुख से पी कर दुख को दूर भगाए कोई इसको दूर दूर कर दुख का जहर बढ़ाए कोई इसको सुख से पी कर दुख को दूर भगाए कोई इसको दूर दूर कर दुख का जहर बढ़ाए बिना पिए कोई क्या समझेगा बिना पिए कोई क्या समझेगा इसका रंग निराला बन जा तू मतवाला 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 मेहर नाम का प्याला तू पीले 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 मेहर नाम का प्याला. So this was the pyala or the wine glass song, and now that everybody must have been intoxicated, let me take you ahead in this little story of mine. And then there was another song which I heard as a child, and which says, Panthi hu main is path ka. Now, Panthi means traveler, Path means path. See how similar the words are in English and Hindi. So, I am the traveler of this path. And what is this path? Ant nahi jiska. There is no end to it. This is an unending path, and I am a traveler on this path. And my desires are my direction, and the base, and that's the base of my mind. My co-passengers are darkness, brightness, and the moments, these moments, and the stars in the sky. These are my passengers, and I am the passenger of this path, or I am the traveler of this path. So that's the song, which is also has lovely meaning. And so I will sing a few lines of this. पंथी हूँ मैं उस पथ का, अंत नहीं जिसका, आँख मेरी है जिसकी दिशा, आधार मेरे मन का, पंथी हूँ मैं उस पथ का, संगी साथी मेरे अंधियारे उजियारे, मुझको राह दिखाए, पल छिन के फुलझारे, पथिक मेरे पथ के सब तारे, और नीला आकाश, पंथी हूँ मैं उस पथ का, अंत नहीं जिसका, आँख मेरी है जिसकी दिशा, आधार मेरे मन का. So this was another song which I learned from him, and I don't know which all songs he sang in front of Baba, but I'm hoping that the ones I selected today probably were the ones which were sung for him. So let's hope so. The other one says, Dil ko hai tumse pyar kyun? Why do I love you? Why does my heart loves you? I cannot tell you. Why I am looking at you? Why my eyes, with your eyes in Hindi we say aankhein hui hai char kyun? That means when I look at you, my eyes and your eyes together make it 4 eyes. So I don't know why I'm doing the 4 eyes with you. And of course we are talking to our beloved. And then I cannot tell you this. That's what the song is. And then he says that in this whole world there is no lack of beauty. Roop ki kuch kami nahi, means there is no lack of beauty in the whole universe. You are not the only one who is the most beautiful. There is no lack of beauty. There is enough beauty. You're telling this to Baba, you're not the only one. There are so much beauty is there around. But I don't know why in your memory or when I remember you, I become so restless. I cannot tell. I don't know why all this happens. So that's the other song. दिल को है तुमसे प्यार क्यों, ये ना बता सकूँगा मैं, ये ना बता सकूँगा मैं, ये ना बता सकूँगा मैं, रूप की कुछ कमी नहीं, दुनिया में एक तुम ही नहीं, रूप की कुछ कमी नहीं, दुनिया में एक तुम ही नहीं, पर भी तुम्हारी याद में रहता हूँ बेकरार क्यों, ये ना बता सकूँगा मैं, ये ना बता सकूँगा मैं, दिल को है तुमसे प्यार क्यों, प्यार क्यों, प्यार क्यों. And now I come to the thing which I used to hear Erich talking a lot. You know, people would ask him, Erich, I had this dream, and what does this mean? And Erich would say, it means nothing because it's a dream in the dream. So it's not about finding out the meaning of the dream, but it's about waking up from this dream, and that's what Baba has told us. And he would share a story how Baba would tell them that I have come to wake you up from this dream. So, you know, then people would ask him, but Erich, this all looks so real. So he would say, but one day when you will wake up from your dream, you will realize how this is all fake, this is not real, nothing is real. So, of course, I'm waiting for that day. When it'll happen, I don't know. But this is a beautiful song about that. And this song says that you are luring me with the dreams. I also feel that probably the deeper meaning of the word dreams over here is illusion. That, you know, so much of illusion, so much of Maya, and I am just so fascinated by it. And you're trying to fascinate me with all the illusions, all the dream. And I have so much of a distance from you. Even though I am far away from you, sometimes I feel I'm close to you. And when I'm so close to you physically, I feel so far away from you. So all this is, you know, like you're trying to fascinate with all these things. Don't try to fascinate me with the dreams. Then he says, I want to touch you. I want to feel you. Because I feel I'm so close to you, but I can't even touch you. When I try to touch you, I can't touch you. What is this tradition? What is this custom? Why can't I even touch you when I want to touch you? So don't try and fascinate and lure me with the dreams. Come, you are, you know, what do? You come into my dreams daily, and every time you come in new and new forms. And then every day when I'm trying to catch you, you run away. So there is a word in Hindi we call achal, which also means the other word which all the Baba lovers are familiar with is daman, which is like the hem of your cloth. And in India, we used to hold the daman or the hem of our mother's saris. So for us, when we say achal, we can imagine that it's the part of the mother's sari, you know, which is hanging from the shoulder, and you hold and you walk behind your mother. And so you're trying to hold him or her, whoever is your beloved, and he runs away in the dreams when he comes in various forms every time. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. This is injustice. You can't come and then just run away when I try to catch you. Don't try and lure me with your dream, with the dreams. So that's the song. And the word for the dreams in Hindi is sapna. So when you hear the word sapna, you know I am saying dream. And so I will be saying सपनों से बहलाओ. Okay? मुझे न सपनों से बहलाओ, मुझे न सपनों से बहलाओ, दूरी का दुख दिल पे सहूँ मैं, रह के पास भी दूर रहूँ मैं, दूरी का दुख दिल पे सहूँ मैं, रह के पास भी दूर रहूँ मैं, छूना चाहूँ छू न सकूँ मैं, छूना चाहूँ. Chuna means touch. So I'm trying to touch you, but I can't touch you. So छूना चाहूँ छू न सकूँ मैं, छूना चाहूँ छू न सकूँ मैं, कौन ये रीत बताओ, है कौन ये रीत बताओ, मुझे न सपनों से बहलाओ, मुझे न सपनों से बहलाओ, रोज मेरे सपनों में आना, नित नित रूप नए दिखलाना, रोज मेरे सपनों में आना, नित 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 रूप नए दिखलाना, रोज छुड़ा कर आंचल जाना, रोज छुड़ा कर आंचल जाना, ऐसा जुल्म न ढाओ तुम, ऐसा जुल्म न ढाओ, मुझे न सपनों से बहलाओ, मुझे न सपनों से बहलाओ. So these were a few songs, and if there is time, then I can do one more little story. Okay. So there is one more little thing which I want to say, and so now now let's give the name to our beloved. Okay, now we have been talking to him, telling him this and that, and we didn't give him a name. So now we give him a name, and his name is Shyam. Shyam is the other name for Krishna. So this is one more another song which I heard and learned, and of course then I realized I picked up this tune which I heard, and my father also used to sing. So I picked up this tune actually from him, initially from Hajra Dada, and then my dad. And then when I heard the original song, I realized the original song was totally different tune. But I love this tune so much, so I stuck to it. I don't know whether it is musically correct tune or not, but it doesn't matter. I have sung this song a few times at the Samadhi, and this is also one of the songs which I learned from Hajra Dada, and I'm hoping that probably he sang this song also in front of Baba. So this song is about Krishna, and you're telling him, Shyam, you are very, very stubborn. So there is a word in Hindi called hathile. Hathile means you are very, very stubborn. You are so stubborn that I'm going to be also stubborn with you. You know, I am going to lie down in your path. You come, you kick me. I'm not going to move from there till you come and kick me. I will keep lying down there. You will have to bend this time and pick me up. Either you kick me or you bend and you pick me up. I'm not going to move from here. So if you are stubborn, I'm also going to be stubborn with him. And you keep running away, always. Bhagne wale means you're always running away. You keep running away. This time you will have to stop, and you will have to bend down, and you will have to pick me up, because this is my zid. My what's the word for zid? Whatever.
Stubborn.
So zid means when you're being stubborn. That's the word in Hindi, that I'm gonna like stick to this is what I want to do. So that's being stubborn. Okay, so that's the song, and it's quite interesting. That's another way of having a dialogue with your beloved. मेरे हठीले शाम, मैं भी हठ पे अड़ा हूँ, ठोकर लगा दे मैं तेरे रास्ते पे पड़ा हूँ. मेरे हठीले शाम, मैं भी हठ पे अड़ा हूँ, ठोकर लगा दे मैं तेरे रास्ते पे पड़ा हूँ. मेरे हठीले शाम, ओ भागने वाले तुझे रुकना ही पड़ेगा, मुझको उठाने के लिए झुकना ही पड़ेगा. ओ भागने वाले तुझे रुकना ही पड़ेगा, मुझको उठाने के लिए झुकना ही पड़ेगा. तू सबसे बड़ा और मैं तुझसे भी बड़ा हूँ. Means you are the highest of the high, but I am higher than you. And that's what Baba said, that when you become my beloved, then I become your lover. तू सबसे बड़ा और मैं तुझसे भी बड़ा हूँ. मेरे हठीले शाम, मैं भी हठ पे अड़ा हूँ, ठोकर लगा दे मैं तेरे रास्ते पे पड़ा हूँ मेरे हठीले शाम. So these were few memories of my childhood which I shared with you all, and maybe some other day we could share some more stories of different time. And this is my childhood connection. I think today was our childhood days. Nikki and I both shared our childhood days with you all. Come, sit here. Hey, Baba.
Also said.
Yeah.
So that was my little bundle of joy, and like she's the one who's more enthusiastic than the entire family combined together. And like whenever I'm feeling sad or low about something, then it's mom who keeps motivating me and filling me with positive energy all the time. So that's all for today. Jai Baba.
Ashima, I wanted to tell you, um, my good friend Keith Gunn. I don't know if you know Keith. He worked with Doctor on the book with Dr. Hasra on the book. He lives in California. I'm going to send him a link to this. He will love to hear your stories. He loved Dr. Hasra very much.
Thank you. So one of the stories I could share, which is from that book, which is very interesting, and I actually heard it from Erich sharing the story, that he was, because he was an intellectual person, he never believed in Baba initially. So he would tell Baba, he would give him all kinds of tests. So he'll put Baba to test. And a simple test like, today, tonight, if I get mutton to eat, if I get meat to eat by 9 o'clock in the night, I'll believe you're God. So, silly things like that he would do. And he knew, of course, where in the small towns those days the market closed at 7. How are you going to get mutton? Who's going to get mutton? So he knew, of course, today Baba's going to fail and he can't prove himself to be God. And so he was very happy and very, waiting for what's going to happen. And just before, few minutes before 9 o'clock, he hears the sound of a motorcycle coming out of his house. And so this was his friend, and he said, today I went hunting, and I hunted, and I found this whatever they hunted. I can't remember what was the animal. Those days, of course, hunting was a sport, and people could do it. And probably this was in 1950s or late 40s, probably. So he got this, and he wanted his mother to cook. So the mutton came before 9 o'clock in the night.
Oh, yeah, that's what zetetic means, right? That he's a skeptic. Yeah. Uh-huh. That's a great
You,
story.
you think you could tell us a marriage story before you leave?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Um,
Thank you.
so you know what? I realized much later what was the who she was. As a child, she was just part of the family, one of the aunts, but didn't really realize. As a kid, you don't realize. So I didn't realize at that time, when I would be fooling around and playing and not wanting to sit around her and rather play in the garden and rather go and steal some food from Bauji's room was more important. But yes, I did get a chance. So there was very few people, very few pilgrims used to be there in those days. I'm talking about late 70s, mid 70s and late 70s. And so sometimes when few women would be there, Mera would invite them for tea. And so with my mother, me and my sister would get a chance to go for tea, to sit with other few women, would be 5, 6 other women, and Mera would be there. And she would serve us tea, and everybody got a chair, and me and my sister would get a stool to sit. We were very young, so we were fine. We didn't care as long as we were getting food to eat. So she would pour tea with her own hands for everyone. It would be mint tea. And I never had mint tea before that. And of course, much later, Haovi auntie is here, and I enjoyed a lot of mint tea with her much later in my life. But as a kid, that was my first exposure to what the mint tea was all about. And then she would give us some roasted puffed rice and few peanuts in it, and she would serve in small bowls to everybody, so everybody would get. And then she would share Baba's stories. And so basically, she would only be talking about Baba. She spoke very softly, very gentle, her voice was. So many a times one had to strain to hear what she's trying to say if you were sitting behind a little distant with her. And she would talk and she would ask if you studying well, did you pass your exam? This was the question every time she would ask. Nothing much more than that I have in my memory at that time. Of course, when I started growing, I became a teenager and a college student. Then I understood who she was, and I would try and sit around and try to listen to the stories. But she, like when we think of Radha with Krishna, I feel it is something unbelievable, something unimaginable, something unreachable. But that kind of feeling wasn't there with Mera. She was a part of your life. So it was like how I would go and talk to her Bobby and tell her something. I would go and tell her something, or she would ask me a question, or I would talk to Angela, or I would talk to Betty. It was a similar feeling. It was just so natural and so informal that you never knew who she was. I mean, for me, I'm telling you, I never understood the importance of it or my fortune. I didn't know anything about it. But yes, I made sure because my father had explained me that these people are not going to be there forever. These things that you can go to Baba's room and touch, different things will not be allowed to touch. There would be a day come, then you will not be allowed to enter these rooms, Baba's room, Mera's room, nothing. You will not be able to touch, so make sure you touch and feel everything. So I just made sure touch and feel everything, touch her, what she's wearing, or if she gives me something. She gave me a little locket once when I was a brooch rather, and she told me to wear it every time I went for an exam. So I still have it. And so she gave that to me. And once she asked me if I passed my exams, all my exams properly, did I fail in any of the exam or did I pass all the exams? So I said I passed all the exams. Now I don't know what was the importance of those things. And these were like natural questions when a grandmother or a relative asks you. But there was one thing which happened with me as a child is during the year, before we would go for a holiday to Merazad. For me, Merazad was everything. Till today, I can relate to it more than I could relate to Merabad because 4 times a week we spend there morning till evening. So I still have more feelings for Merazad. It's like home to me. So if I was up to some mischief or if I wouldn't do my things, what I was supposed to do properly, my mother would only tell me, okay, when we are going now, they will ask, the Manli is going to ask, I'm going to tell them these people don't listen. They don't do this. They don't. So whole of the year, we behaved ourselves, me and my sister, properly so that my mother won't go and complain to them. And that was something I was concerned about, that I didn't want them to say that, oh, you are troubling your mother. Because once I said something, Erich was sitting in the Mandli hall and I said something and I said, she's doing like that. My mother was sitting. She said, you never talk to your mother like that. So in spite of me wanting to talk to her like that, I just remember every time and remind myself that, oh, he told me not to, so I'm only doing it because he told me. No other reason. But I have many more memories with money, which we can discuss sometime because she would play, she would play, she would speak in the language I spoke. So she was the most fun person to be with. She was amazing. She was the most fun. So looking forward, she would take out her toys and show us all battery operated toys and all. So she was really a lot of fun to be with. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Jim Baba. Thank you so much. What a pleasure and grace to hear you talk today. Thank you.
It's such a wonderful picture of you sleeping under the stars, listening to that beautiful music. Oh my goodness, it just sounds like magic. How fortunate. Oh. Thank you so much, Ashima.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I think a while ago, Sita Kotwal had her hand up. I don't. Oh, she's gone. I think. Yeah.
Havovi, you have something to add?
Time for dinner, but I really enjoyed the program. Glad I logged in. Nikki and Ashu, we call you Ashu, Ashima. Wonderful, wonderful stories with Baba and Mira and Mani. Thank you for sharing, Nikki. So your mountaineering days are over, back to earth. I've been following you on Facebook. Baba bless you.
Thank you. I'm going again next month. You can also join.
Wanderlust. It's very safe there, no? Away from all this COVID business, huh?
Yes, it's safe over there.
Yeah. We are right now in Pune.
Okay.
Ashu Gudia, Nalicha Nikki. Ushanka is waving to you.
Hello, Ushanka.
Come to call you for dinner.
Okay.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Wonderful program. This is Betty, Roman, Nikki, Ashu, and Angela. And of course, Baba.
Jai
You know,
Baba.
Baba the
Ushang, how are we? Jai Baba.
Jai Baba Betty. I remember when he came to your center and the program, those were brought us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's time for dinner and good night. Baba bless.
Good night.
Let's be say Baba Negepan.
Baba Nigevan. You eat dinner so late? It's 10 p.m. there.
Jai Baba, darling. See you again.
Jai Baba.
Baba, how about sweet Koshang? Yes, dear Baba.
So sweet.
Wow. Uh, Nikki, tell us about the mountains. Do you hike? Is that what you do? What do you do in the mountains?
So I go for a lot of hikes and camping and all adventure related activities. And I also did a course in mountaineering. So it's a 1 month training program, and then you get a professional degree as a mountaineer. So that was around 3 years ago. So after that, I've been going as a guide and organizing trips in the mountains.
Wow, that sounds so exciting. You lead groups then?
Yes. You all should join the mountain trip if you come to India.
Oh my gosh, we would love to be led by you. You are so sweet. Enthusiastic. You'd be like, oh, you've fallen down, no problem, get up.
Oh, is this in India or Pakistan?
Himalayas, yes.
The Himalayas in India. That's where I go.
In India, yeah. Oh, that's so exciting. Oh, I have a good friend who wants to go. Maybe.
Angela, we should have a circle of friends once on Himalayas.
Oh,
Yes, let's go.
Up on the mountains.
Let's go. Take us with you when you go.
You must do that once. Seriously.
You'll have to zoom in from there.
No, we will when everything is okay and when physically you all can come, we must
Yeah.
do a Baba trip, a Baba circle of friends up there.
oh my goodness.
It would be so
A
much
Baba Zoom reunion.
That would be so
Yes.
exciting.
Well, it'll be a world tour. I mean, look at the map. We have to visit every spot on the map now.
Yes.
Have you gone, Ashima? Do you go on her hikes?
I go when I once a year I try and join them. Yeah. So I have to keep training myself to be able to do 1/3 of what they do. But it's a good experience to be there, so sometimes they do some difficult things, then I would do my own little easier thing.
Oh, I'm relieved to hear that. There's hope for us.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, those are some serious mountains.
Yes.
You have to have training for that, huh?
Yes.
Stamina, that's about it. Not much really. I mean, I don't do tough stuff. They will do when they want
Let
to
them
do.
do the tough stuff. Do you actually use ropes and
Yes, all of
oh, this is serious mountaineering. You're not just kidding around.
Well, this is the Himalayas.
Exactly. This is straight up.
No, but not everybody doesn't do that. When you're coming for a trek, you don't do that. That's like,
Yeah.
okay, you're just simply walking. So walking, you need a few hours of stamina, because
Yes.
it becomes almost 3-4 hours of walking in a day, and you're going ascending. So
Yeah.
So if your stamina is good and you've just done little work up yourself a month prior or a couple of months, that you're fit enough. Then it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
It would be fun to do the actual
Actually,
mountain rock climbing. That would be fun.
I'm going again in June. If you want to join,
You lead a group. Oh, and do
I'll be
you,
there till August.
you have the, what do you call it, crampons with your on your boots and ice pick, all of that?
Yes, yes.
Wow. Do you have photos?
I have pictures. I can show them to you.
In the group, you send it, na? Send it.
But how do I? I'll show them to you from my phone if I can find something.
You share on the.
There's one.
Ah,
If is it? It's a picture of us setting up a campsite, but it's not being seen. Like,
I think it's
should I
not
put the background off?
yeah, okay, do that.
Can you see the picture? It's a picture of us setting a campsite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks so cold.
There is one more
Snow.
over here. This is the time during my training when I think I'll just put the
Your background moves even. You've got people moving in your background. That's impressive.
okay, I think now you'll be able to see it.
Yes. Oh, look, that is that you?
Wow.
Inside the crevasse.
Yes.
So
You are. That's great. Oh my goodness.
You are not
Gorgeous.
kidding around. You're a serious mountaineer.
No.
So this was the time we were training in the mountaineering course how to cross a crevasse, and since my hands are weak, they were weak at that time, so we had to hit the axe inside and then cross through the crevasse. So my axe slipped and I started falling down inside the crevasse.
Oh.
But
Oh
luckily, I was tied to a rope. So I called the people in the team and they pulled me up. So that's a picture of me in the
Oh
crevasse.
my goodness.
no. Oh my goodness. Now that's an adventure.
You must have some serious
So
training
exciting.
first aid. Are you all trained that way to help each other?
Yes.
So wow.
We were all tied up because we knew that someone is going to fall in. I didn't know it would be me, but we knew someone will fall in.
You have a lot of courage. You have a lot of courage.
Beautiful.
But every time I go on a trek, I get tired at some point, and then I just feel like, why have I come here? I could just sit at home inside my blanket. That's how I feel every single time. But the moment I'm back from the trek, I start planning the next one, and I'm like, I want to go back.
What about oxygen? Do you use that?
So you actually need oxygen when you're above 19,000 feet.
I guess so.
So below that, we don't need a cylinder. So I've only gone till 17,000 feet till now. So I haven't yet needed an oxygen cylinder. But there are some people who've got asthma issues. So we carry an oxygen cylinder for them just in case they need it.
Oh my goodness. You've been up to
You must be so strong.
Oof. You have been up to 17,000 feet then?
Yeah, that's been my highest.
Gosh. Wow.
Here's one more picture of one of our campsites. It's over here. 1 second. This one.
Okay. Yeah.
Is-
Yeah. Wow. See, that's you.
The mountains are so colorful. And that's you?
Yeah, that's me. And there was snow around and sunlight reflecting on it. So that gave that brown kind of a shade.
Wow.
It's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
I can see why you go back every year. Frequently, more than once a year.
Yeah.
You know, once we were on a trek up on the Himalayas, and we saw this group of some 15, 20 German people, and they were all in their like late 70s and 80s. So we were very curious, and they looked very fit, and we were just doing like 3 or 4 day trek while they were doing a 15-day trek. So I asked them, I said, you have Alps, and why would you want to come here, and what are you doing and all? I was just curious. So they said, two, three of them I spoke to, because we were crossing, we were like going in the opposite direction. So they told me that nowhere in the world there is anything like Himalayas.
Wow.
It's very, very
That's
unique.
for sure. That's for sure.
And
Incredibly unique.
I remember Dawn writing something when Baba used to take them, and he's written a little. Dr. Donkin, he's written something about Himalayas, very beautiful. Those I can't remember them, but he's written them. I think that's as a addition to the Wayfarers. A
Oh,
part of that, he's written something about Himalayas, which is so beautiful and something very, very spiritual. If I find it, I'll send it to Angela, and maybe you all
that
can
would be
read it something.
wonderful.
Very beautiful, yeah.
Oh, Duncan. Oh, Duncan said, wow.
Donkin.
Oh, love to hear that. Wow. How unique, you two. Trekking, my goodness, serious. That's wonderful. Baba's, you bring Baba along up there. Oh, gosh.
I take him up there with me also, and I tell him to help with carrying my bags, but he doesn't help. It's like around 20 kgs that we have to carry up there with sleeping bags and tents and all. So sometimes it gets a lot, but he doesn't help me. So he's like, you're on your
Go with
own.
Sherpas? Do you go with Sherpas or no?
So we go with Sherpas, but that's when we are taking a group. So then the group pays for the Sherpas. But if we are just a group of friends going for the trek, then everything we do on our own. Like not friends from Bombay, but friends from the mountains. When we go, friends from Bombay can't manage it. So when I go with people from the mountains, then like we go without a guide and without a cook, and we just take everything on our own and do everything on our own. So
Wow.
that's also called alpine climb.
I was just going to ask you, is there trekking down lower for people who don't have the stamina to go
Yes,
up?
yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't have to go up all the time. You can do
Yeah.
things lower down.
Uh-huh.
You come with me, and we'll do all lower things, all fun things. Those are more fun things. Yeah, there's so much more fun things down.
So
Wow.
we have when people are coming, like people mom's age or her friends come, then we plan the trip in such a way that there's not much to walk and they don't have to carry any weight, and it's just really fun. Like the experience we get is the same, the view is the same, but you don't have to walk much, so you don't get tired, and still you get to see the view which you'll get when you climb higher. So
Uh-huh.
so if you come, then it will not
Okay.
be such a difficult
Okay. Oh my goodness. I can't. I've been up maybe 7,000 feet, but not much higher. Wow. I would love to. Gosh.
Wow, once COVID releases its grip, we have so many trips to plan. Yeah, what are we gonna do? We have a world trip already planned to Israel and
Huh? There's an Israel trip happening. There are Baba places in Israel.
say again.
Are there Baba places in Israel?
Oh, well,
They're
um,
Jesus.
Michal has invited us. We have to visit Tel Aviv, and then she's gonna take us to Jerusalem. So, I mean,
Oh,
what are we gonna
wow.
do? We have all these trips planned now.
Yes, these
Lovely. That's nice.
Jesus and Mohammed places. Israel,
Oh,
Mikal
wow. Yeah, yeah. That would be so much fun.
and
Mm.
Etzion too. They have things to show us.
They have things planned for us. Whether that comes to fruition, we'll have to
Yeah.
just take it one day at a time. But many, many
And
plans.
yes. Yeah.
Oh well, I'm so glad you're doing that, Nikki. Boy, you are just blazing a trail for all of us to follow. That's
How did you start? When did you start?
I went for a rock climbing trip when I was 12. because I didn't want to go, but I was just bored that weekend, and my dad's friend was going, so he asked all of us like, "Do you want to come?" So I said, "Okay, I'm bored. I'll just go for once and never go again." But that once was not a once because I liked it and I kept going. And then mom and dad took me for trekking in the Himalayas, and that's how I started liking it and getting more into it.
It's fantastic.
Have to overcome. I mean, the breathing is hard. It's hard at times. You have to overcome. Your what is it? You have to learn to try really hard, persevere. When you're tired and breathing is even hard. Yeah,
And cold.
and cold. That's right, cold. Yeah.
People are more used to the cold that we have. You guys get snow in the winter, don't you?
Uh-huh. A little bit, not much really. Yeah, cold. It's cold. It's freezing.
Yeah, but they're not coming from Bombay weather going straight to the cold, you know what I mean? When I was in ninth grade, so that's when I was about 15 or so, our school trip was to go up Mount Kenya, and there's three peaks, and two of them are kind of twin peaks. They're about equally high, and I think we went up to the third peak. I forget. But anyway, it was a very eye-opening trip and so exciting, and definitely my first time dealing with snow and cold, and we had to borrow all these clothes because we didn't have gloves and boots and thick wool socks.
Wow. So did you climb up to the summit?
We went up to the summit. It was a big deal. It was like that third day when we were getting up to the peak. We had to be up at before it was really light, and you're kind of scrabbling around in the dark, and then step by step finally you get where it's more and more upright, and you're kind of crawling up the mountain, and then finally you're there, and it's like, wow, sun is rising. It's perfect. It's like everything that you were plodding along for is suddenly there.
You remember how high that peak was?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to look it up. Probably only 9,000 or something, not much.
A lot. That's a lot. I think Mount Hood here is 10,000. Yeah, I haven't been up. Yeah. And 17, I can't imagine.
I know, right? Oh gosh. I don't know what that is.
So can you imagine you'd ever touch Everest? Is that one of the goals?
Me?
Yes. Mount Everest?
So actually, I wanted to at the beginning, but Everest has become very mainstream now, and everyone is going there, and it's become like a fish market. So,
Fish market.
Really? Know that.
so
Wow.
most of the mountaineers are not keen on going to Everest, but people who just want to go to Everest for the name of it, they go. But most of the mountaineers are not keen because it's very crowded over there, and it's getting polluted as well. But there's this another peak K2, which is the second highest, but it's like 5 times more difficult than Everest. So we are aiming on doing K2 instead of Everest, and
Wow.
less
Yeah,
people
K2. Boy, that's famous too.
Mount Everest is extremely, extremely dangerous.
I
And
think
you're going to climb up something 5 times as dangerous.
Oh, what the heck, Why not have a challenge?
this girl's adventurous.
That's a Baba girl.
I'm sure you can do it, Nikki, but wow. Beyond Mount Everest, that's
I guess,
extraordinary.
Jeff, you're going to be sitting in your armchair watching her go up.
I guess so.
Armchair travelers, right?
Well,
I have a better.
amazing.
You know what I am thinking now that all this discussion is going on? I will sit on Baba's lap and I highest of the high. And that's
There
it.
you go. Just let him carry you.
No, and that's it. Then I'm already on the top. I don't need
You're already there. You're already at the highest of the high. What do you need more?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Such joy.
Ah, wonderful. Well, we have 2 minutes before the Danny Ladinsky sharing meeting. We're going to just read Danny Ladinsky poetry. If you want to stay, Nikki and Ashima, if you have some poetry to share, that would be wonderful.
This is his he calls it rendition of Hafiz. His rendition. He doesn't, it's not a translation, it's his.
We can just call it his poetry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank
Someday,
you so
and
much.
we'll have to do Kabir someday.
That would be wonderful. Oh, that's a good idea.
And Tagore.
And Tagore. Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful. Let's do that.
And I'll teach you all of you to say it in Hindi. Then you all can do it yourself. In
Oh my gosh.
At
Okay.
least fun. We could
Okay. Tell me what's a good day.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I'll WhatsApp you and we'll figure out a time.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Yeah.